Hallo iedereen, dat is een hallo aan alle mensen in de cinemazaal of het Move Film Festival, maar ook alle mensen die het festival van thuis uit volgen. Het is heel fijn dat we samen de mooie film Souad hebben kunnen bekijken. En ik heb het geluk dat ik regisseur Ayten Amin enkele vragen mag stellen. Dus hello Ayten and welcome to the Move Film Festival.
Hi,
My first question to you is, how are you?
I'm good. All is good. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
That's great. I'm very, very happy I can ask you some questions tonight. One of my first questions is what inspired you to tell the story of Souad, Rabab and Ahmed?
It all started out with a childhood incident that happened when I was a child. It was one of my friends at school. Her sister committed suicide. Her sister was like 16 and our friend, you were like 9 at the time. So I think this incident was something that I always thought about. And I actually met her like by coincidence shopping. And then I was thinking at the time of the idea of the film. And then I talked to Mahmoud, my co-writer. Mahmoud Aizat, he's a very well-known poet here, especially after the 2011. And he has like thousands of followers on Twitter. So he's a kind of influencer on Twitter. So I was telling him about the story that I want to make a film about the two sisters, one of them who commits suicide and the other one goes to meet the guy her sister was talking to. And I was telling him from the beginning that I want to set it outside of Cairo. I wanted to make a film that is set in everything is set outside of Cairo. Even the guy that she's meeting will be in Alexandria, not in Cairo. So he started telling me about his followers, any girls who were following him from all over. A lot of them came from small cities, and we started doing like this folder of these girls, and we started to contact them. Actually, many of them came to Cairo to meet with us, and during those meetings, we were always like shooting. It was not an audition; it was more of a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And based on these conversations, we started writing the first draft of the script, actually.
Okay, so it seems like you've matched the script to the cast instead of
in a way, Mahmoud was very he was very similar to Ahmed in a way, and at the same time we started meeting girls who were so similar to Souad and Rabab before actually writing the script.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not an audition, it was like a research, and at the same time we were auditioning those girls if they can play in the film.
Okay, and why was it so important for you both to work with non-professional actors, or were the girls actors?
No, they were not actors. All of them, they were. It was their first time, and they were non-actors. It was important for us because it was part of the filmmaking of the. It was part of the process of the film. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't want to write a script and then cast actresses to play the roles. I didn't want someone to play the role. I just wanted someone, who have input. So it was part of the process to choose girls who have things that they can add to the script and to the film. And when we started working, they did not read the script. We were doing like the rehearsals and the improvisations without them reading the script. They knew how the story was going, but they didn't read it. So what we were doing is, during the rehearsals, we were like, I was telling them the ideas of the scenes, and they kept improvising. And then I would go back to Mahmoud in the weekend in Cairo, and I would show him what we were doing in the rehearsals, and he would rewrite the scenes according to what was happening with their improvisation. So it was like the script writing was like a back and forth process between what we were doing in the rehearsals and what Mahmoud was writing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's very interesting that the film is, it's almost, it has a feel of a documentary, although it's not a documentary, but you feel like you're very close to the characters, you're very close to the girls. And
it's intimate.
Yes,
I think that's what we wanted to achieve when we were thinking of the non-actors and the way to shoot it, and the improvisations. It was all part of trying to get this intimate with the girls and with all of the characters, even with Ahmed, so that we can feel as if they're not playing a role, as if it's them. So this is what we were trying, this rawness. There was something raw about what's happening, and this is what I really wanted to feel in the film.
In the very first scene of the film, in the bus, which is one of my favorite scenes, it seems like Souad is trying on different personalities, trying on different identities, and she seems to live two different lives. She wants to be pious on the one hand, but she also wants to be provocative. Is this a struggle that many young Egyptian girls face?
Yeah, I think we all face it here. It's not just her. Yeah, of course. I think all of the women and the girls here face this dilemma of trying to be accepted and to become part of the norm, and at the same time trying to be yourself and to be authentic and to really be yourself as a woman. So at the end there's always this conflict that happens, and I think this is the main issue and the main conflict of Souad, is that the identity crisis, and actually of not the three characters, the two characters, she and Ahmed, because both of them, they have this identity crisis, or trying to fit into the norm in a way, and at the same time having other desires. Rabab is a bit different. Rabab is much more authentic than both of them. They all lie in different ways. Actually, all of the characters in the film lie. Even Rabab lies. But at the end, Rabab does not lie about herself. She lies because she wants to travel to meet with Ahmed, and she lies to him because she wants to spend the day with him. But she doesn't lie about her identity. Yes, Ahmed, of course, he's always lying about his identity, whether with the social media or with his girlfriend, or there's always a persona that he's playing to. And Souad is the same. They seem different, but they are actually the same.
Yeah, I feel like the characters never talk straight to each other. They always lie to each other, and on some level they remain very, they remain strangers to each other. They seem very lonely, and it's almost like the viewer is the only one who gets very close to the characters. But I was wondering why it is so hard for them to be authentic and to be straightforward to each other.
Because they're not accepted if they are like this. And I think it's I was not thinking of this when we were writing, but when we finished writing and we started making the film, it was so obvious to me. That was a main thing in the film, about the acceptance and the authenticity, because the first time I actually realized that all of the characters are lying. When I was writing the script, at a certain point I went to the US for a program for writing for the development of the script, and all of my fellows, they were Americans. And one was British and one was Mexican. The other, they were all Americans. And it was the first time one of them mentions that they all lie in the film. And I was not, I didn't even realize it at the time, because that's very normal for us. Yes, it's very normal for us. This is the way we survive here. You always lie. That's like, this is not a lie. It's it's a way of getting by. So yeah, I remember this was the first time I realized that they're all lying, and I started to think about it. That why did I find it so normal that they are lying? So I think it's like part of how we interact here, and I think it's it's a way of survival.
I wanted to ask you another question about the interaction between the characters. Apart from the father and Ahmed, all the characters or the main characters are women. And especially the female friendships were very remarkable to me because they, Souad and her friends, they have a caring friendship, they care for each other, but at the same time, it has a very sharp edge.
There's bullying in a way.
Yes, and they, they are very, the remarks they make to each other, the remarks they make about each other afterwards, it has a very sharp edge, and I was wondering why did you include this kind of friendship?
Because it's the norm. Because it's the norm that I see here.
Yes.
And it's not because any of them is me. They don't want to be mean to each other. It's just the way things are. It's just the way they were brought up. It's just the way we're used to interact. But at the same time, we don't realize that sometimes it really hurts the way they talk to each other or the way they deal with her. So I think it's I wanted to make it like this because that's really very realistic.
But all of the girls in the friendships, they seem quite lonely. They don't seem like they can really confide in each other, that they can support each other. Instead, especially in the scene when Wissam is dancing, you see Souad lurking to her and judging her quietly.
Yeah, of course. Maya, the thing is, she's judging her and she's judging herself at the same time. Whenever she's doing anything with Ahmed, or she sends him photos, or she has sex over the phone with him, she's always judging herself. So of course she's judgmental with any of her friends.
Yeah.
And they are. It's the same with them. When I was thinking of Souad, even the scene when she's in the car with her friend and she's talking about Usama and she's telling her Africa that she smokes and she drinks and she wants she says a lot of bad things about her. I really meant for this to happen because Souad was not an angel with them. She's just one of them. So she deals with the same way, which is we're trying always to get attention to the other person, that the other person is doing something wrong, so that the attention is not on what I'm doing. So it's the dynamics always works like this. And it's not because any of them is mean. Even Souad is not mean, but she doesn't know how to deal differently.
Yeah. It seems like the friendship is some kind of mirror. They see sides from themselves they don't want to see or they don't want to accept, which it's very interesting. I've never thought about it like that before. I feel like the viewer never fully grasps the relationship between Souad and Ahmed. Even when Rabab and Ahmed are in the restaurant and they start talking about the relationship her sister had with Ahmed, the conversation is silenced out with a lot of noise. Did you want to leave that aside, the specifics of the relationship?
Yeah, in a way. I didn't want to reveal all of the details of the relationship because I think even for them it had this ambiguity. It had this, for her it was a relationship. He was her boyfriend, but at the same time not really her boyfriend, because even her sister tells her that sometimes she was talking to other guys, and at the same time he has a girlfriend already. So he was dealing as if Souad was something on the side, that it was not really a relationship, but at the same time he tells her sister that he really loved her. So actually they're both very confused about what was between them. So I never want to explain it, because actually it is like this. It's not easily defined what they had between them. It is a kind of a love story, of course, but it's a very modern love story. It's like because I think the virtual relationships, they introduced us to the types of relationships that we didn't have before. So these kind of virtual relationships, yeah, I think especially in Egypt, because it happens a lot of times that people talk to each other and they never meet. So it was like that with Souad and Ahmed. They never met. So you can't even define it if it's real or if it's not, because it is real. So at the same time, they never really met. So it's something
in between.
Yeah, in between. So I never really wanted to reveal more about it.
I was wondering, now that I'm thinking about the scene in the restaurant, why was it so important for you to include in the film the day Rabab and Ahmed spent together? Because the film could have ended halfway through. Why? I mean, why was it so important for you to also show us this part? What happens afterwards, and not only the part of the virtual relationship and the part of the girls together?
Yeah, but for me the journey was important, because I think that the journey was part of the little sister honoring her sister, yani honoring Souad and doing whatever she wanted to do, which is just spending a day with him, and that's it. Having this kiss, going to the sea with him, going around in Alexandria, going to the place where they throw the coins, going to Stanley and see the sea, and so it's actually part of honoring her memory for her and coming to terms with what happened. And so this was very important for me, that that it's just, her life doesn't just end like that and then that's it. And it's part of honoring her was something that I really wanted to have in the film. And at the same time, we're seeing the events from the other side, which is from Ahmed's side, that actually he's not this evil bad person. He's not at all. He's just as confused as her. So there's something here about the relationships between men and women. I think that men are much more privileged here by the nature of things. They have more rights. A lot of things they have it much easily than women. But at the same time, it seems like this, but at the same time, they're always very burdened because they cannot express how they really feel. They cannot do what they really want. And at the end of the day, it's not that different. So actually both suffer from what's happening. So from the strict social norms and the religious, they both suffer from it. So it was very important for me that at the end, when you see Ahmed, he's not that bad or mean person. He's just a victim.
He's just a regular guy. Yeah, he's just, he seems like a very regular guy. He's just talking to girls on the internet, trying to...
He acted irresponsibly because this is the way he was brought up and this is the privilege he has. But at the same time, he also has a big identity crisis and he's not happy.
No. What I really liked about the last part of the film was that in a way we get to know Souad better, even though she's she's not a physical character anymore in the film, through the eyes of Rabab and the way she loves and mourns her sister. I thought that was very beautiful, the scene where she acts like Souad and then she starts crying. I thought it was very touching. And I've really have enjoyed the film. I hope a lot of people can also see the film, can have the chance to see it. Do you have any plans for a next film?
Yes, we're working on the treatment now. So I'm working on a TV series because I have like a parallel career in TV here. So I actually finished shooting a TV series, but I'm working on the art house cinema that I love. We're almost done with the treatment of my next. It's also with Mahmoud, my co-writer of Souad.
And can you tell us a little bit more about that film?
It's much more daring than Souad.
That's exciting. I hope I can see that film too. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.